I think a lot of people assume that they come in white, but they also come in lots of fancy colours as well, of which green and blue and pink are probably the rarest colour to find. Because it's a Victorian stone, it means that all the weight of the stone is at the back of the stone. So in fact, the weight of the diamond probably weighs about 0.4 of 1. So it's approaching half a carat in size. So what are we going to do with it? How do we assess the price of something like this? Because of course it is a specimen stone. There are so many variables that would apply to something.
Natural fancy blue diamonds owe their color to boron atoms absorbed during crystallization roughly 100 miles below the Earth's surface. The Gemological Institute of America grades fewer than one stone in 10,000 as fancy colored, and blue is among the rarest of all those categories. A 13-carat fancy vivid blue diamond sold at Christie's Geneva in May 2014 for $23.8 million, establishing a world record at the time of $1.8 million per carat.
That weighed a third of a carat, 0.32, remembering I'm assessing this at around about 0.4 to 0.45, was sent to the United States for certification. It was subsequently put into a sale in New York, and in 1996 it made, believe it or not, US 42,000.
Good God.
That's 132,000 a carat. Now, it would be very dangerous indeed to sit here and say that that diamond is going to be worth that kind of money. You're going to say to me, well, all right, what is it worth potentially? All I can say is that it ought to be worth, say, between £10,000 and £25,000. Is that a shock?
It's a lot more than I thought, yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
I'm sure it is. It's the most extraordinary find, and you know, it's thrilling.
I've had it forever, as long as I've been around, and as far as I know, it's been in the house in which I live, in which my family has lived for 200 odd years.
Right.
So that's all I know about it. It seems to me it's surprisingly high. Is that about the height?
It's typical of the period. It's a carving table, basically.
Right.
And you can see this wear and tear it's had here. I mean, this is 250 years of wear and tear. Yeah. This is more recent. It's a vase of flowers or something like that somebody's put on there.
Yeah.
Typical. Don't do it, please.
No, right.
Have you ever noticed one little added extra it's got on it?
What?
I was just crawling around underneath, and under here are 3 finger marks. You see these? The little gouges here.
Yeah.
Right. If I put my fingers in there like that and pull.
Oh no, I never knew that existed.
Isn't that nice?
Well, it's a total surprise. I didn't know it existed.
It looks like it hasn't been open for a while. It's a bit dusty there. Look, it's. I mean, it's hardly ever been used. This. See, it's very clever.
Yeah. Good heavens.
But also, what I like about this, I mean, it's got a lot of sophistication about it. Yet at the same time, I love this fluting here. This sort of copied from ancient Greece. This fluting, but then this what's called an oval patra. This flower head here. But I can't see it on this one, but the one here, that's actually nailed on.
Good heavens.
Look, little nail.
Yes, I see, yeah.
So whoever made this probably didn't make these. Somebody else made them. He bought them in and just stuck them on. Yeah. Interesting for what is a sophisticated piece of furniture.
That's not cheating? No. Well.
No, it's perfectly genuine piece. So we need to value it. I mean, it's Georgian furniture, I think most people know, has gone up in value recently. Have you had it valued in the last few years or anything? Has there been any valuation on it? It
was valued for probate when my aunt died, which is 3 years ago. And I think it was, they valued it at £12,000, which seemed to me an extraordinarily high figure, but I don't really know what I'm looking at. So
Carving tables were designed for a specific ritual of the Georgian household, the ceremonial jointing of a large roast at the hunt breakfast, with the host wielding the knife in front of guests. Cabinet makers in the 1730s had only recently recovered unrestricted access to Caribbean mahogany, after Parliament removed import duties on colonial timber in 1721. Probated at £12,000 when a previous owner died 3 years before this filming, the table's true insurance value turned out to be £30,000.
It does seem an awful lot of money, doesn't it, for what is essentially just a side table and a bit scratched.
Right.
Well, I think that today, for your insurance policy, you should insure it for £30,000.
Thank you very much.
You've watched hundreds of these moments. The ordinary object. The jaw-dropping value. But here's the question we never ask: what's sitting in your home? You don't have to wait for the roadshow to come to your town. In seconds, Velco tells you what it is, when it was made, and what it could be worth. It's like having the roadshow in your pocket. Open the App Store and search Velco. VELQO. Or point your phone at the screen. You might be sitting on a fortune.
By these survivors of the Titanic, April the 15th, 1912.
Yes, it's true.
They must have felt incredibly warmly towards him. I mean, he was
I
just
think
the man
they were,
who had
yes,
pulled them back from the brink of death.
Yes, I think so.
What do you think happened that night on the Carpathia?
Well, he didn't talk about it too much because it was so awful. And he said there was, all these frozen people he had to deal with brought out of the sea. And it was quite horrific.
Must have been terrifying.
He said it was terrifying, and of course there were lots of troubles which I won't go into about why it was so horrific. But he didn't want to talk about that too much either.
What an amazing story this is. Because as you know, at the moment, there's a sort of fever of Titanic interest.
Yes.
Everybody's been to see the film. There have been huge reports in the press about the whole story of it, as to why it happened, why certain people got the lifeboats and other people didn't.
Yes.
Up here we have a Humane Society award for him and all his bravery at that time.
Yes.
He really must have been a most extraordinary and remarkable man.
Yes.
This is a silver medal.
Yes.
Presented by the Humane Society,
Society,
which went in conjunction with the certificate at the back.
Right.
But this is something quite different. This is the most extraordinary thing.
That's another
This
thing.
is presented to captain, officers and crew of RMS Carpathia from the survivors of the Titanic, April 15th, 1912. That is made out of 14-karat gold,
Yes.
and there were only 14 of them made.
Oh, yes.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No.
It's an extraordinarily rare thing. Only the most outstanding officers.
RMS Carpathia arrived at the site of the Titanic sinking at 4:10 in the morning on the 15th of April, 1912, the result of Captain Arthur Rostron ordering every non-essential boiler fired the moment he received the distress signal. Of the 2,224 people aboard Titanic, exactly 710 survived, all of them pulled from lifeboats by Carpathia's crew. Congress later awarded Rostron the Congressional Gold Medal. These 14 objects are the only awards the Titanic survivors ever gave to the men who saved them.
Yes.
It's almost unheard of if you think in the
Yes.
whole world there are 14 of these objects. The even more peculiar thing is that one of these was sold recently.
Yes.
Now, presumably you would never consider selling any of
No,
these objects
no.
because they're all family objects.
Yes.
They are perhaps things that you might consider insuring.
Yes. Haven't insured them. Yes.
I think it's extremely important you do so, because in New York, in 1997, one of these medals was sold for $50,000. So that equates roughly to £30,000 now.
George heavens. I know I do. Can't believe it.
So I think what we have here, looking at your whole collection of objects, are
Yes.
probably things that ought to be insured for £50,000.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. It's amazing.
How can you measure one man's valour?
Indeed.
Thank you very, very, very much.
It's been a very moving day for us.
A little history about it, from your point of view.
I acquired it about 40 years ago. I was very interested 10 years previous to that, but it was only until the person moved that I was able to avail myself of it.
The whole quality of the piece, as I've said, is superb, and it takes it out of the ordinary range of Davenport price, because there's so many made from each period. I mean, it's an extremely popular piece of furniture. If you were to see 100 Davenports, you'd be lucky to see one of this model.
Really?
A good average Victorian Davenport will make 2,500 to 3,000. A good
The Davenport takes its name from a Captain Davenport, who commissioned the first example from the Lancaster cabinet-making firm Gillows around 1790. By the Regency period, the type had been widely copied, which is precisely why exceptional examples are difficult to distinguish at a glance from common production. Gillow's original order books survive at the Westminster City Archives in London. They document Davenport variants in continuous production from the 1790s until well past the Victorian period.
This one should certainly be insured for £12,500.
The Omega Speedmaster Professional was the only watch NASA approved for extravehicular activity before the Apollo program began, the result of tests that put every major rival through temperature extremes, vacuum, vibration, and shock. When American and Soviet spacecraft docked in Earth orbit on the 17th of July 1975, the Apollo-Soyuz mission was the first handshake in space and a symbolic end to the space race. One Italian distributor, Mario Mocchi, saw the moment as worth commemorating. He commissioned a limited run of Speedmasters with bespoke Apollo-Soyuz dials, manufactured the following year, produced in such small numbers that the trade still debates whether there were 400 or 500 examples. Nobody wanted them at the time.
Did you buy it yourself or not?
No, I didn't buy it. It was my brother's watch. He bought this watch unknown to us as a family. Unfortunately, he died later that year in a car crash. The watch came back with his effects. I was the only boy in the family. My parents gave it to me.
And did you wear it?
No, it's not really my type of watch. I found it a bit heavy, a bit bulky. I stuck it in a drawer.
When a rare watch arrives at the roadshow with its original bill of sale, the Omega archive extract confirming the manufacture date, and an unbroken ownership record, the documentation can be worth almost as much as the object itself. Most Apollo-Soyuz Speedmasters have changed hands at least once without paperwork. An unworn example with complete Italian provenance had never, to the best of this appraiser's knowledge, appeared at auction in Britain. The drawer may have been the best place for it.
I think you're going to get a minimum of 80,000 for it.
Really?
Really. So I have a feeling that you're not going to be owning that for too much longer, are you?
No. No.
Of all the Omega Speedmasters, this is about as rare as it gets.
Wow. That's more than I expected.
And so for your brother working in Italy, that really was, with hindsight.
The Antiques Roadshow appraiser put the minimum figure at £80,000, the floor price for a fully documented, all-original Omega Apollo-Soyuz Speedmaster when a genuine example reaches the open market. The owner's father paid the equivalent of £300 in 1980, bought the watch in Italy on the strength of the mission patch alone, and brought it home without knowing its significance. It sat unworn in a drawer for 20 years. It will not go back. You've watched hundreds of these moments. The ordinary object. The jaw-dropping value. But here's the question we never ask: what's sitting in your home? You don't have to wait for the roadshow to come to your town. In seconds, Velcro tells you what it is, when it was made, and what it could be worth. It's like having the roadshow in your pocket. Open the App Store and search Velcro. VELQO. Or point your phone at the screen. You might be sitting on a fortune. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next. And there are plenty more incredible appraisals waiting for you on the channel. Go check them out.